Okay, everybody, I'm Tarhaka, Amaana Bay. Haven't been on the air in a while. However, I wanted to do this short video because the other night, about 12 o'clock midnight, I dialed into a radio podcast being hosted by the chief of the Dakota Nation in Utah. And I kept listening to his show, trying to find out what he was talking about. And he kept mentioning the invasive species this, the invasive species that. And I said, well, which invasive species are you talking about? Are you talking about fish or birds or what? And finally he said that he was being given a hard time out in the state of Utah. They'd been arrested and for this and that and all these charges put against them. And then he said, when you go into the courtroom, they want you to put your hand on the Bible and hold up your other hand and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But they want you to put your hand on a book that they themselves do not believe in. I said, okay, so you are referring to the so-called white man as an invasive species. So I called in because I deal with law and all of that stuff. And they let me in, and I said, well, I have a question, Chief. I say, I have been asking the invasive species over and over, from where on this earth are you indigenous? And they'll either ignore me, won't answer me, or walk away. And he said, okay, well, that can be explained. He said, but before I do, I have another caller with his hand raised. I'm going to open up the line. When he opened up the line, the young Caucasian gentleman called in, and he said, I would like to answer the brother. He said he asked the question of where are we indigenous to this land? And no one would answer him, but I want to answer him tonight. He said, well, go right ahead. He said, we are not from this planet. When he said that to me, everything began to make sense. Everything. And so the chief, after he hung up, he didn't have anything else to say. The chief said, did he answer your question? I said, yes, he did. And we went on and finished off the broadcast. But I wanted to do this quick video. So let's see if we can understand what this gentleman said in giving me the answer to my question. Okay? All right. Try to do this as quickly as possible. Okay, now let's take a look at the definition of the word invasive species. An invasive species is an organism that is not indigenous or native to a particular area. Invasive species can cause great economic and environmental harm to the new area. For instance, we have a photograph of a lionfish there. Native to the Indo-Pacific Ocean region, lionfish are quickly spreading throughout the coast and coral reefs of the east coast of the United States. Lionfish are voracious eaters, and their venomous dorsal spines have helped to protect them so far from any natural predator in the Atlantic. Okay, now I want you to notice something. These are zoos in America. These are animals that have been rounded up, brought to a space, a different place, and put in cages to amuse people. Take a real good look at this photograph. Now, about a week or two, earthquake hit New York City. Okay? right round the corner from where I live, we have a zoo. What happens, or what's going to happen, when an earthquake hit, or a tornado, or a hurricane hit the zoo, and everything in the zoo get out? Now you have invasiveness running around in your neighborhood. Who is responsible, or who came up with the idea? What type of indigenous person would do such a thing? Hurricane hit animal facility down in Florida City, around Miami area. Everything in there got out. Now we got 25, 30-foot anacondas, rock pythons all over the place down there, totally annihilating the Everglades. And they say within a couple of years, we'll have rock pythons and anacondas on the ground in New York City as a result of this type of behavior. It all makes sense to me now why we got people doing an investigation on volcanoes that's live. We got people in the North Atlantic under the ocean in a cage exploring 15, 20-foot great white sharks in the North Atlantic Ocean. I don't know of any indigenous or native individual to a place that would do such a thing. It all seems to me a result of an invasive species on this planet called Earth. Okay, I want you to take a real good look now. These are photographs of World War I. Take a good look. What do you see? You see war, you see violence, you see weapons, all of these things you see. Okay? Okay, once again, let's take a real good look. I asked myself a question because as long as I've been on the planet, I've never seen native or indigenous people do this. Never seen that. Let's move on. Okay, these are images of serial killers. Take a good look. Okay? All right, let's move on. Okay, here we have a 14-year-old boy named George Stinny. He's 14 years old, accused of doing something to someone. He was put in the electric chair and electrocuted for something that he did not do. What indigenous individual do you know of that would even do something like that? Why do we need it? We need it because we have an invasive species on our planet called Earth. Okay, this is where we're headed. This is AI, artificial intelligence. This is where we're headed. I think this time, I think that'll do the trick before it moves on to another planet. Okay, everybody, that's going to do it. I hope I made myself clear, and that's just a smidget. One thing I want you to understand is there is only one end to an invasive species being somewhere in a different environment and coming from somewhere else to this environment. There's only one end to it, and that is the end to the planet. It will be destroyed. Make no doubt about it. And the reason why is because you have an invasive species on this earth. We're going to give you a disease, and then we're going to turn around and build a hospital so that you can pay us to treat you for the disease that we gave you. Amazing. But anyway, I just want to give you a little food for thought. Might help you understand some things. Make no doubt about it. I don't know of nobody in my ancestry in ancient times that created a Bible and passed it on from generation to generation to be among my people. I don't know of anyone in my history or my ancestry that ever created a religion and gave it to me. Where did it come from? Y'all have a good evening.